morning, fellow Toastmasters and Speaker Bureau members and guests. Do we have any guests tonight?
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome. You are so lovely to honor us with your presence. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And I'm really excited, not just being an MC at the Speakers Bureau for the first time. I'm really excited because we have some auditions tonight, really going to be great. And we also have a featured speaker here that's really going to excite us because she's not only a professional speaker, but she's going to be speaking about communication skills, which hopefully are a lot better than mine. So, before I get started, her name is Melody Kamer Harper. She is not only a professional speaker, author, entertainer, radio and TV host, she is a high-impact performance coach. Do we have any coaches in the house tonight? Wow, that's like half the group. I love it. We're in such great company here. And she knows what it takes to become a successful speaker. She has over 30 years teaching successful communication strategies to entrepreneurs, educators, actors, and business professionals. She's the founder and president of Melody Kamer International and co-president and CEO of Kamer Twins International with her twin sister. Melody has designed programs and successfully delivered hundreds of seminars. Wow, I congratulate you. I've done one, and it was like the craziest thing ever. And training globally to thousands of people in all levels of business. Combining her experience as a parent, a counselor, an educator, small business owner, and professional film, TV, and stage entertainer, she has created her Star Power System for Success program and book, a 9-step system for maximum impact communication in your career, on stage, and in your life. Wow. She is also co-author of 2 other books being released. They were released called Ready, Aim, Influence, and Quantum Leap Your Life. Please join me in welcoming Miss Melody Kamer Harper.
What a nice opening. That was wonderful. I appreciate it. It's so nice being here. I was on the traffic coming over in 2 axes on the way here. So I was making it for sure to be here with you. And I'm so glad I was able to see, and I'm so thankful, Rona. Thank you so much for inviting me, and Furman. I appreciate that very much. And Jeff has been fabulous. I happen to be in a group with Jeff, and so that's how I knew about your program. And I was actually in New Mexico at the District 23 Toastmasters, so I actually met your international president, George.
Wow. Nice.
He was fabulous. I loved him. He was great. It was wonderful. So I am really appreciative of being here, and I thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you if you'll play full out with me. Will you play full out with me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because I'm going to ask you to participate and do something.
Yes.
And I'm going to see, did we have this able to go on? Because now it's not on there. That would help, because I want you to go through. Oh, thanks so much. Okay. Oh, this is weird. Okay. I'm just going to get this in here. Okay. My program that I have is called Ignite Your Inner Power. Like Rona, she likes to ignite people and get them going through the business area with the health and all. And my area is helping you find the inner power within you to make sure you can be all that you want to be, all that you're supposed to be, and feel confident with that. So I have a program, and it helps you with not only maximizing your communication, but developing that confidence that if you have some, you don't realize certain areas that maybe you need more in to help you connect more with people, get out there. Now, I know that from what Jeff was telling me, too, that you've had so many people speaking about communication, and I can do all those in my programs that I have. I help people with gaining that confidence and understanding the 9 powers of communication and all the things that I have to go along with that with my coaching and with my 2-day events and in my books that I've written. And so I thought I'm going to do something a little different because I know you've had a lot of that here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk a little bit more about communication for radio and TV and the boardroom. How's that sound?
Awesome.
Okay? Woo. Good. Because that is a real important area for you too as business people that people don't realize. To get out there and market more for yourself, you need that media, that media presence, whether it's radio, whether it's TV, it's going to get you out there and being seen more and get your message across that is so important to you that you want to get across. So right now, with being in media, and I know Ronan can attest to this, and Furman, because they're both Morgan Freeman people, right? Okay. And so vocalizing is real important. And getting out there and before you speak, and I know all of you are really, really trained with Toastmasters, which I think is incredible. I think it's fabulous, all the background they have to help people. Vocalizing really makes a difference whether you're in radio, whether you're on TV, whether you're speaking one-on-one to people, whether you're in a boardroom, whether you are just giving a speech on stage. You need to be able to feel comfortable ahead of time with your voice. And if you can hear me a little bit, I have a little bit of a cold. I just came back from North Carolina too, and boy, my head almost exploded in the plane. If you've ever experienced that, don't go on a plane when you have a head cold. I felt like knives were going in my head and my ears were popping out. It was weird. But anyway, so I still have a little bit of that, but that's okay because you can still walk through it and you can still manage it no matter what you're doing. And I have a singing background, so I have to sing sometimes when I'm not feeling well or when I have a cold too. And there are ways and techniques that I teach and how to go through that. So part of this, I'm going to go to this next area if I can. Good. Okay, a vocal exercise. Can everybody stand up? I'd like to get moving in there, okay? So if you look over here too, these are just a few little exercises that we're going to do. Not a whole lot. I have a lot of other things that I will do in my programs that I teach as well. But one thing is to really, when you get up and speak, is to make sure that your lips are loose and that your voice is very comfortable and that you're feeling like you can actually project. And that doesn't mean you're yelling. It means you're projecting through the air that comes out of your mouth, and so that everybody can hear wherever you are in the room. But part of that is loosening up first your mouth and your voice. So, and I have to do this. Some of you can trill. Some of you trill your R's? Thank you. My twin sister can, and I'm like, I can't do it. I don't know why. I guess it's like she has a talented tongue. I don't have that talented tongue. So I have to push and help myself with this, okay? So if you can trill, better for you, okay? So we're going to trill your R's, or else take and flutter your lips. So I just go like this, put it in here, and like a puppet, okay? Very good, okay. And now when you're doing that, you're loosening it up, but now I want you to do it as if you're doing a vocalizing. And you don't have to be a singer to be able to do this, but it helps your throat. It helps you to get that smoother sound going. So let's try this, and you can listen first, and then I'll have you follow with it, okay? Looks strange, doesn't it? Okay? Don't worry about it. You're all going to look the same, okay? We're all the same boat here. Okay, ready? Ready with me? Okay. One scale. Okay. Yes. Very good. Okay. All these different areas, and by the time you were through, you'd be warming up. These are the things I do before I go on stage, on the radio, on TV, to warm up ahead of time. Now the next thing you're going to see over there is enunciating the words. You want to make sure that you are enunciating, so mumbling, people can't understand you. So you want to make sure that you enunciate your words, and that means you over-exaggerate. And if you're on stage, a big stage, like I've been on the big stages before with a lot of big Mickey Rooney's, Jose Ferrer's, Elizabeth Taylor's, and all the different stars. I've had a lot of experience doing different plays and all that. And you have to, big expressions. Big, right, Rona? Okay? Big.
Right. Because when I was on with Mel Ferrer,
he was funny too. I have stories that I tell about him. Anyway, when you're on big stages, everything is a lot larger, bigger. But when you're in different areas of arenas where like TV and you're in a small frame, you have to watch what you do because you're in a frame. On radio, they don't see you. So, and I'm going to tell you some stories that happened with my twin sister and me on radio, because there's some real experiences that we've learned to help other people. And a good thing that we weren't being seen, I'll tell you, because it would have been, well, actually kind of would have been a comedy routine if you'd seen it. But anyway, so on this, I'm going to have you go, how now, brown cow? How
now, brown cow?
Now really enunciate. Pull your lips back and forward. Back and forward.
How now, brown cow?
Feels really goofy, but when you do that over and over, it loosens up your mouth again and it gets you to articulate. Next one I have. She sells seashells down by the seashore.
She sells seashells down by the shore.
She sells
seashells down by the seashore.
And you start doing that faster and faster, so it's she sells seashells down by the seashore. She sells seashells down by the seashore. And you do it faster and faster until you feel a real flow going with that. Next one, red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. And so you just keep saying this over and over again, and it helps you be more flexible. This one is more of a twister on that one. And if you notice on that one area, yes, you're right. She sells seashells. I didn't spell that one right. I can't correct that. Okay. All right. Bugle baby. This one is bugle baby buggy bumpers.
Bugle baby buggy bumpers.
Bugle baby buggy bumpers. Bugle baby buggy bumpers.
Bugle baby
Bugle baby buggy bumpers. Bugle baby
buggy bumpers.
Bugle baby buggy bumpers. Bugle baby buggy bumpers. Bugle baby buggy bumpers. Bugle baby buggy bumpers. It gets to be a tongue twister. And then on some relaxation, because you want to do that, so you've gotten your mouth and your voice kind of warmed up somewhat now. And now to get up and get those jitters out of the way, so you feel a little more confident, we want to have the relaxation mode. And so with the relaxation, you're going to be inhaling. And that doesn't mean, and then it goes to your head and you're going to pass out because you have the nerves and everything else. So just take a normal deep breath, inhale at the count of 4, and exhale at the count of 4. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, so let's try this. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. So it comes through your diaphragm and goes out again. But you do have some up in the other upper chest as well, so it sustains you. So that will relax you before you're getting on stage. And then I do like little shoulder rolls, so let's do some shoulder rolls. Okay, just roll forward, go backward, you know, pick up your neck around it and your shoulders and move around. And then flop your arms out. Just get them really, really wiggly in there, and then kind of move. Okay, now when you get on stage, you don't want to be down, you want to have that high energy. So this is why you're going to get yourself moving. Get yourself moving. Either you have to jump up and down, jumping jacks, whatever you want, whatever it is. Run in place, Get yourself. And then, last thing, okay, now stop so you're not totally out of breath. Yeah. All right? Because you do want to be having some breath to be able to speak and everything. So the next thing what you're going to do on that is I want you to laugh out loud, okay? Okay, just really laugh and have a good time with it. Laugh at yourself, laugh and have fun. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to concentrate when you go out. You're going to get that breath. And then keep that smile on your face. And then hone in on the people that are around so you have eye contact with them. So you've connected with your audience. Thank you. Go ahead and sit down. Do you think you can do that before you get out and speak? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Will that relax you? Yeah. That will make a huge difference because it'll make you feel more confident, and that's the biggest part of it, is feeling confident. My program, I'm not going to do this today, but part of the things that I do on the 9 Ps for helping you get out there with communication skills really makes a difference, and a lot of that is preparing and practicing that you need to do to get yourself into the position to really do a fabulous talk and to feel comfortable with what you're doing. But I'm not going to do that today. I am going to be talking about the stage, and this is something where I first started. My twin sister and I, as you were saying, say your name again, so it's a hard
Ascanio.
Ascanio. Ascanio, I love that, Italian. My son-in-law's Italian, he's Italian, I love it. And Ascanio, love it. Anyway, my twin sister and I started out when we were 3 years old on stage, and our parents put us in a little local market for a little contest, and we loved it. It was fabulous. Our mom always sang to us, I love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel in a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you, cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do, toodle-oodle-oo-doo, 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 boop, 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 boop. And we loved that. And we loved it. She said, hey, that's great. 3 years old, we weren't singing harmony at that time. It was all unison. And we got out there and we had a great time. It was so much fun. And we won this contest. Won a great big huge bag of groceries that was about as large as we were at the time. And that was fabulous. No stage fright. It was great. We were comfortable as can be because we didn't know any better. When you're kids, you don't know. You kind of learn to get afraid, right? Yes. You learn it as it comes along. So all the years that we had, and I'm not going to go through this because I do this in my 2-day events. I really go extensively of all the stories with all the different people that I've had back and I've been blessed to have been in my life with. And one of them was Elvis, okay? I was in the movie with Elvis Presley called Double Trouble. My twin sister and I were in that. And we loved it. It was fabulous. And he was incredible. And yes, he's gorgeous and he's wonderful too. He was. And he actually cloned us. And that's how we got our name, the Double Trouble Keemer twins. And because of Elvis, which was really a blessing to us at the time too. He taught me a lot of things. And a lot of the TV appearances that I do are about what Elvis, Liz, and Johnny taught me about public speaking. And I'm not going to go over those because, again, you have to come to my 2-day events for those, okay? And you have to go to the webinar. And, but you'll see different things that I have in here, and it shows different periods of our life that we have. And I'm going to click on this and see if this will work on here, because if it'll go to the, no it didn't. Okay, how do I click on that? Can I do it on here?
Yes.
Okay, let me do this, so you can see this. It's here, it's not there. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
It's Elvis up here. He's singing and dancing on stage. We're in a London pub in this area. And then he's walking over to us. He's going like this now. Jumps off the stage. And he walks over in front of us. And the two of us are running this discotheque. That was a role in there, and that stuck with us. Every time he came back, he would talk to us about that, no boo-hoo, going to London and everything else. Let's go to the next one. Oh, wait, I froze it. What do I do? Ah, there it goes. No, it was on here, but it's not in here. Jeff, I need my technician. I kind of froze it in the place. Thank you. So the next thing we're going to talk about too on this is that communication strategies for the radio. And for the radio show, I had the Double Trouble Talk radio program with my twin sister. And we had a lot of different speakers, entertainers, and high-profile celebrities that were on our program. And a lot of great stories. And the radio was a little different than doing TV. TV, obviously, you're viewed everywhere. So you have the visual part with that. Whereas audio is just what you hear. But you actually hear expression, so it's important to understand that the way you talk needs to be with smiling, because people can tell when you're really down, and they can tell when you're really up. So it's really important to make sure that your expression is concurrent with what you want to convey as your message. So when you're on radio, this on the TV, we're going to do TV, you want to be knowledgeable. The jump from one to the other one. Okay. All right, so we'll do the TV, and then we're going to ready it, and then we'll do the boardroom. So with the TV, you want to be very knowledgeable about your topic. Now, whether it's radio or whatever, obviously you want to be extremely knowledgeable about your topic. Because in TV, especially if you have a product, like you have a book, and you give that person a book, which, by the way, Furman and Ronan, thank you so much for having me here. I would like to give you my Double Trouble Transformation book for the two of you as a thank you for
I get a
it, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And when I take my books on the shows with me on there, they'll ask, sometimes they read them. Don't expect them to read just because you give them, but you should give them a gift of your book or a product, whatever you have. But don't expect them to have either used it or read it. But expect that they might have read something and they may ask you about it. So you better be knowledgeable about what you've written. And if you have a ghostwriter, you better know what that ghostwriter wrote for you, okay? So, because they may come up with questions and you're going to look like you have egg on your face if you can't answer the questions. So be knowledgeable about it. And you want to arrive at least 20 minutes early. Now, if they tell you to be a certain time, coming way earlier is not going to be any good. That doesn't matter because they're not ready for you. But you do want to be there early enough so you're relaxed and so that you're not going to be flustered, so you feel comfortable about getting out there and speaking. And then also, some people like to bring a lot of people with them. Don't take people with you. You might want to take one person, but not this whole entourage, a group of people, because, oh, I want to be on TV or see what's going on behind the scenes. And that's not going to be a winning combination for the producers, let's put it that way. Okay, be sure to deliver like maybe 1 to 3 key messages. When you're on TV, usually like an interview spot you might have, it may be 3 to 6 minutes. I've been very blessed in getting extra minutes because of the background I have. They want to hear all the stories. They love stories. And stories really sell a lot, more than the facts tell, stories sell. And so I love doing the stories, and it seems to resonate with people more. So make sure that the topic you have is very thorough with those 3, but don't go on to more, and be brief about it. And then most people do get paid, do not get paid. Some people will go and they'll say, okay, am I getting paid for this? That is a no-no, okay? Don't expect to get paid, because what you're doing is you're actually getting more credibility for yourself. You're getting visual appearance out there for people to know who you are, and people will call you based on what they hear and what they see. If they like you, they're going to want more of you. They'll find out more about you. So don't expect to get paid, because this is like millions of dollars of publicity you're getting if you're on TV or on radio. And especially if you have a new product coming out, or a new message that you want to give out, or a new book that you want to promote. Great vehicle. The media is a fabulous way to get your message out there and to get heard and get to be bought for them to buy you. And you want to avoid any distractions. I remember when I was in the wings on this one time, and I was about to go out, and somebody was trying to get my attention. Avoid the distractions when you go out. You need to be totally focused. When you're going on stage, your eye contact, your concentration needs to be on what you're doing, not on, oh my goodness, what's this person going to tell me? Or, gosh, I got to go to that email real fast. Or, oh, the phone's ringing. Don't go there with that, okay? And then depending on the topic, you should be energetic no matter what. If it's a down one, then you know how to act on that accordingly. So you want to get the emotion. You want to grab people with whatever emotion is you have, and whether it's sad or whether it's happy. Make sure that you're concurrent with exactly the emotion you want to produce for that person to understand about the audience. And then if somebody gives you an opportunity to sit or stand or whatever, and they say, get behind a desk, don't do that, okay? You don't want to be hidden. You want to be out in front. You want to be sitting. You want to either stand and walk so you're visible. Don't get hidden behind something, all right? That's a real no-no. And then fidgeting. Some people you'll see, and it's so annoying. Have you seen this before on TV, or you're watching somebody on stage, they're fidgeting in their pockets, or fidgeting with their whatever it is, they're just so nervous, whatever, and it's very distracting. And it really takes away from their message. So be careful about fidgeting. Don't do that. And then locking your hands, coming in front and locking your hands. You know, it's like, what is this for? This kind of like territorial, it's kind of, it's just like an uncomfortable thing that you're feeling, be relaxed and be conversational in anything that you're going to do. And don't look up. Well, sometimes when you're trying to think about something, it's like, oh, what's my next thought? I'm going to go like this. It's obvious that you're looking around for what the next thing is I have to say. If you're in a mode where you're not sure about what you're going to say, look down. So it looks like you're doing something more, like you're focusing on something more. So just look down a little bit. Don't look up, because that's a dead giveaway. Not sure what I'm going to say next, okay? So make sure you don't do that. And then if you're wearing anything like an earpiece, and sometimes, has anybody done something on TV where they've used an ear prompt before? Have you done that before?
Mm-hmm.
Has it ever fallen out?
No, sorry. No, I've only done it twice, but I was lucky.
You were lucky.
Ascania, you.
You were saying you had one too?
I never fell out or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
An ear prompt, if you're not familiar with the ear prompt, you put that in and you're hearing the voice and you're saying whatever is going on. So you're repeating back what that ear prompt is telling you. It's like giving you your speech. And so you're hearing what to say, or somebody might be giving you a clue or a cue for something. I've seen this before. Thank goodness it didn't happen to me, okay? But I saw it before and it taught me a lesson. Person's ear prompt fell out and all of a sudden they're like, and it's like they had no idea what to say next. It was like they were clued by this thing. Instead of, you have to be in the moment. And whatever goes on, if something's a problem, go with it, flow with it, and just be prepared. You know your material enough that you should be able to speak. And if something happens, then you just keep talking, and then you just, go over and pick it up and just kind of put it back in, and you'll just go on like nothing's happening. Don't even say anything. Don't even make a big thing about it. Other people won't think anything of it either. So those are sometimes, not everybody wears ear props, but sometimes you might have to. Oh, I think there was one, let's see. Oh, yeah. Have you heard, and there are some speakers, there's one that I know, I don't know if you know who Glacier Kennedy program is, a big speaker time program. Okay, they have one person in there, a mentor program. I love him dearly. He's a surfer dude, and he is a multi-billionaire. I mean, this guy is money wise, okay? And every other word is a curse word. Every other word. He can get away with it, it's just him. And you expect it out of him. But I don't recommend it, okay? So avoid curse words. People get very offended, you never know, and it really doesn't make a difference. It's not gonna make that big of a difference in what you're saying, so just stay away from it. Avoid those. Especially on TV, they censor a lot, and then you're not gonna be asked back if you do that. And you want to have people ask you back. So provide the information that the host needs as soon as possible. When they ask for something, give it to them, and give them information. I do my little press releases to give to them, and I give them my little piece that's going to be a spiel. And then I also have my backup ones, so when I go on, because I have this every time, which I'm very, very lucky, is they'll say, gosh, that was great, do you have something else we can do? And so I'm racing back to New Mexico on this last one I did, for doing 2 more spots on the NBC. I did CBS and walked across the NBC and did 2 more over there and 1 over there, and they asked me, will you come back next month? We want 2 more spots for you. And so you have to have different subjects that you have and prepared for it. And the more you're out there, the more people see you, the more they're going to know you, the more they're going to buy into you. Okay? So get yourself out there more. Be prepared with everything that you need ahead of time. Questions. They love it if you have questions for them ahead of time too, because then they don't have to think. And so it makes it nice, and guess what? Then you know the answers. So that makes it easier too. All right? And then avoid background noise. If you're in everywhere, this is a radio area when we're doing radios, avoid background noise. Now I know the radio show that I have with my twin sister, we always did it in my house. We're no longer doing that radio show. Unfortunately, she had to take a step out of the scene right now for personal reasons with her family, and hopefully later she'll be back in and we can start up our harmony routine again. But right now, so I'm flying solo, so I have Ignite Your Inner Power instead of Double Trouble Transformation System right now, and with that I have a radio show now that's called Ignite Your Inner Power. And with that show, I am doing it by myself. There is a lot difference of doing it by yourself than doing it with somebody. And so you have the responsibility totally on yourself to make sure the energy is up, to make sure your content is there, to make sure that your audience has what they're looking for, that the message that you're giving is concurrent with and congruent with what you're saying is going to be there. And if you have an interviewer, usually the best shows have people that you interview. You bring them on and you have a conversation. And so many people will come on and they're like programmed to say everything and they sound like little robots. That's not what you want to do. You want to be very natural, you want to be very conversational in whatever you're saying, and you want to have fun. Laugh. People love it when you laugh. People love it if you make a mistake too. They love it. It makes you human. And believe me, my sister and I made a lot of mistakes on our radio show and things that we will not share because we were so over the top with what we did. But thank goodness, I mean, if you saw us, it was like we were hitting each other and like, do this now. We had tech things going wrong, and it was like she was doing something and I'm over here trying to get the radio going, and I'll say, did you catch that? What do you think of that? And she'll go, yeah, and I'll say, ask her a question, and she's not answering me back because she is doing her own thing. So we're trying to pantomime doing different things going back and forth. And I'll tell you, in one of my programs, I'll tell you a really funny story that happened when I was here in California, and Marilyn was in Branford, is it Branford? It's called Branford, Missouri? Branford, Missouri, is that the right name? Branson, Missouri. An electrical storm. Well, electrical storm causes technical problems. And it left me on the other end, and in a radio show, and when you have everything scripted out, and you think you're going to be okay, and the other person's going to come in, and they don't. And you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you're speaking like this, and all of a sudden you're like this because you're so nervous, you're going so like a little train. I had everything that I planned for this whole hour radio show done in 15 minutes. And I was like, now what do I do? Oh, I was like, and my sister's back there because she could hear me, but she was having more than technical functions. She was having bathroom problems, okay? And she did not want to talk or make anything known that she was in the bathroom. And she's sitting there laughing, knowing I am stressed out, not knowing. And because I went through the whole script, she decided she wasn't going to come in because she thought, there's nothing else to say. You're on your own. I'll never forget that. I was like, what am I doing with this radio show? So it really taught us. And thank goodness did anybody see the movie House Sitters with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn? Yeah. Remember the old Queen of BS? Well, this Queen of BS, okay? Well, I was the Queen of BS that night. I told everything I could to get through that show, but I thank goodness got through, and I told them, don't you ever do that to me again. But you do make it through. You do make it through. And they don't know it. People don't really know because you don't say anything. So it makes it easier. And then don't use jargon that people don't recognize. If you're talking to a certain industry, make sure it's geared toward that industry. Don't talk in a way that they're not going to understand. I am also a counselor at Irvine Valley College, and I do career, academic, and personal counseling, and I help people with really making differences in their interests, their goals, and moving toward a future, and helping outplace people with their jobs from the one-stop centers. And with those, they don't understand certain jargon that I might use. And I may say, I'll send you over your EOPS, or the DSPS is going to be what you need. And I'm just talking, and it's flowing because that's my vernacular at the time. That is what my language is in lingo, and who's ever in education, they understand it. But other people have no clue. And I realized that when my sister said, what are you talking about? And it's my older sister. And it becomes your own language. So you need to say clearly, if you're talking about EOPS, then you say the Educational Opportunities, Programs, and Services. And so you have to really make sure that people understand what you're saying and that you're talking in their language. Be brief with your answers, come to the point, say what it is you need to say, and then move on with it rather than elongating it. And on radio also, if you're being interviewed about your book, again, that's something I said earlier, make sure that you know about your book because they may ask you questions, and if you're not sure about what's in there, you're going to look kind of funny, especially since it's your book, okay? And conversation, this is real important. So many people get on shows, and they'll act like you're doing a presentation. Do you like being presented to, or would you rather be talked to? Talked with. Have a conversation. Yeah, and be a part of it. That makes me feel better. It makes me feel more comfortable. It makes me feel like I'm included, and I like to make people that I feel that I'm working with that way. And in counseling, that's important to me, and part of communication is building trust, building a relationship. And that's so critical for me. I don't like to move on and find out about what that client or that customer needs until I know more about them. And I've built a relationship with them to find out what's in their best interest. What is it they want? And then on radio, and then like in TV too. You know what, any dead time, that's a no-no in TV and in radio particularly. That dead space. You want to make sure that you can continue. I always make sure no matter what it is, if I'm doing those workshops that I'm doing and seminars that I'm doing, I always have extra material on hand because if something happens, I'll never forget, one of the counselors at our school was coming in and was being evaluated and set up a whole program, and this person was being evaluated by the hour, and in a half hour, they had finished all their material, and they didn't know what to do for the next half hour. Well, that didn't go over real well for that person. And they didn't keep their job because that was a probationary thing that this person was in. That showed that they were not prepared and not ready to do what they needed to do. And I know, like you said, sometimes you kind of fill in with what you're saying at times, and you go with the flow. I do that too, okay? I see if there's a need, I'll go with that need, and I talk with whatever the subject is at that time, and then go back because we stay on the track, but I still want to help the people that are in my audience. And so, it's important to have extra material on hand just to be in case. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So always be prepared, always. Let's see, I'm going to skip on a couple of those on there. There's a lot more things that I have too. I'm just putting some of the key things in here. You want to have that clarity, speak very clear when you're talking. And you want to be very succinct, and you want to pace yourself so that you know. I know in like a radio show, we have 15-minute segments, so there's like 13 minutes, and then we have our little commercials that we have. We have our sponsors that do our commercials and all that, and then we come back in. So you need to pace yourself how to go in and go out, and it flows a lot easier if you know exactly what you're going to be saying next, and how to keep that person in the interview mode too. Let's see. I'm going to go more on those. Kind of common sense on a lot of these. At the home area, I will tell you, this made a difference for us. In our radio show, my house, I love it, it's great, but it's kind of hollow because it doesn't have a lot of window treatment, so it's a lot of wall space. And so I heard that there's kind of like a bounce back. So you have to know there's different things. So I really understand the media sense of what to do on TV and on film to avoid some glitches that you might have. So what I did is I threw a blanket under my table, because I did in the dining room, threw it under the table. I actually took a blanket and hung it in the shutters and clamped it under the shutters so it was like a curtain on the wall. And then I put another one on top of the dining room table, so it took the hardness away and made it softer. The feel of the room was softer. And then my microphone, I had the big blue microphone. It's quite an event putting my studio together in the dining room. And I can go through that another time. If anybody wants to know how to do radio or TV, I'm happy to help you with that. There's a lot of techniques on that. And then for the boardroom, this is different. It's totally different. Because what you have in the boardroom is not the same. You are still doing a lot of the same as what you do on the radio and the TV. It's visual, it's audio, and also it's connecting with people. But you're actually getting back and forth feedback, and you're working as teams, and you're building that relationship. And a lot of it in the boardroom has to do with leadership. Whether you're the leader or whether you're the team player, you should always take that leadership mode in your mind of what you're doing, and that you have a lot to contribute to other people in the communication that you're going to give in that boardroom. So you want to be able to speak not just to be popular, but because you have something that really has something of value to offer to other people. And then you want to have, you want to make sure what you have is accurate. Don't come in with information and fluff. Make sure what you have is something that's going to, again, be of value. And when people are there as a leader or as a team member, always praise people. Always give them credit for things. Acknowledge people. People really appreciate that, and they deserve it. Everybody does good jobs, and they need to be told how they did a great job. So many people focus on the negative instead of the positive. I love this story about, the 1,500-piece puzzle. You have a 1,500-piece puzzle, a person puts it all together, and they're missing one piece. Where is that one piece? It's somewhere. They can't find the one piece for this puzzle. And what do people recognize in that puzzle? Where's the missing piece? Instead of that, hey, you've got 1,499 pieces there, they're missing, they're talking about the one piece in that puzzle. So focus on the good, not that bad part of it. Okay, so focus on that knowledge, the credit that they have for it. Be you. And I know you've heard this before, but it's so true. So many people try to be somebody or something that they are not. Just be who you are. Because you, by yourself, are special. Every single one of you in here has value. All of us are unique. All of us has something special to share. And it may be something that's the same. We may be in the same industries, but we come at it at a different angle. And we have something of value that's different than somebody else that has that same information. So don't put yourself down or feel like, oh, I can't talk about this. They've heard it before. They know all that. No, they don't know it your way. They haven't heard you. They haven't heard how special you are. So let that be your authentic self. This is the phrase I was wanting, that was what I started to say on this, is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. My good friend Jonathan Sprinkles with James Malinchek's program, mentor, he's been my mentor for years, and with James Malinchek. Jonathan is the #1 speaker out there in the college market. And he has always said, people absolutely will not listen to you until they know you care about them. So again, it's building that relationship. And that's why I get a lot of accolades at school, because that's important to me. And now I'm teaching all the other teachers and counselors, because they don't realize how important it is not just to teach your subject, but to connect with people, to get that feeling that people really resonate with you and that you resonate with them. Build that trust. So important. You want to be visible. So many people in leadership roles, they take the leadership, but then they stand behind their computers and they're doing other things and they're ignoring people. So make sure you are there, you're visible, and that you're there easily for people to hear you and to talk to you. And then keep it simple. Focus on the giving. The giving is much better than taking. Always be focused on your giving. And have an open mind in whatever you do. There's more than one person's opinion, right? There's more than one way to approach a problem or to approach how to solve something. So I always dwell on the solution, not the problem. You focus on the problem and then find the solutions and work as a team and compromise with each other. A lot of this is just a lot of common sense, and I go over a lot more in detail. This is just briefly the small time I have with you today. So, but you want to listen. And I always say God gave us, you heard this expression, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should be listening more than we are talking. We hear more. We know about ourselves. You want to hear about everybody else. You know, if you just doing all the talking, all you're doing is you're interested in yourself. Just show your interest in other people. Be prepared for whatever you do too. And then these are what employers are looking for. They're looking for flexibility, they're looking for adaptability, they want people that are detail-oriented, organized, and having that leadership and the team building qualities. And these are things I'm not going to go into detail right now. But self-confidence is the #1 thing that they're looking for. People will buy you more if they think you're self-confident. Even if you are having those butterflies that Nell has taught us how to maneuver around, if those butterflies are flying around, that's okay. They should be, because they keep you going. You just need to know how to control those butterflies and those lack of confident feelings that you have. Because people will actually see you as more educated, as more knowledgeable, smarter, and more interesting if you exude confidence. Even if you don't feel it inside, you can still have it outside. There's a certain thing that I learned from Dale Carnegie. The form, I don't know if you've heard that before, FORM, really makes a difference. You may not be knowledgeable about something, but you can still get in there and talk with the big fellas, okay? You can still interact even without having the knowledge about something, because you're asking questions instead, and you're learning. And they think you're great. They think you're interested, and they think you're interesting, because you're learning about them. So it's great technique, and you don't have to even have the knowledge of something. It's wonderful. I am at the end right now, and I know that we running over with what your time is, so I want to stop right now. I really enjoyed being with you. This is so special. I appreciate being asked. And Rona and Firma and Jeff, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and talking to all of you. I do have a special invitation that I'd like to offer to you at this time. If you feel like there's some value that I can help you in further, I have a special invitation for registering for my 3-part webinar that is coming up. And it's going to be on May 14th, 15th, and 16th, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night on 7 o'clock. And don't worry, because if you have something going on, you can get the replay, okay? So you don't have to miss it. You still get it. Plus, I have 3 downloads for each one of those, an action guide that you'll have that goes with each of those parts. So each one is like an hour, a little over an hour for each of the webinar parts of it. And this is going to be on igniting your inner power to get the winning results you want in your career, in the media, in your life, and your career. And it shows on there, and I'm going to go to the next part of it too. This is telling what part 1 is. On part 1, what you'll hear on that is going to be what Elvis, Liz, and Johnny taught me about public speaking, the success strategies that I use for effective communication skills that affect all areas of the relationships that we have for leadership, and what employers want to see in part 2. I really go in overcoming fears and obstacles that we have, the barriers that we have, and then the 7 steps anti-procrastination, because procrastination is a #1 thing that pulls us back from being productive and moving forward. Hello, B. Hello. Shoot. Okay. 9 is, what is it, Juba?